at some point, you got to understand, and this is what I try to preach to everybody, it may not be who you want, but Brad Holmes knows more than you.
Absolutely.
He's smarter than you. He's smarter than me. So, like, this isn't a me knocking anybody else. But I don't think Detroit's ever seen a football mind like Brad Holmes, so they don't really understand a football mind like Brad Holmes. And even when it's just been constant ascension, there's still people that are lurking like, he doesn't know what he's doing. He hasn't got us a Super Bowl yet. And it's like, my God, do you know how long it takes to climb a mountain? Just because you don't do it in day one doesn't mean you're not going to do it at all. And that's what we started with. This team was awful.
Rubble.
Salary cap hell. Jamie Collins.
Shout out.
Making what?
Trey Flowers.
Trey Flowers.
Shout out.
Like, look
Jelani
at what.
Tavai.
Right?
Marvin Jones.
Jelani Tavai. Yeah.
Jelani Tavai. Marvin Jones. Jones wasn't a bad. I didn't mind Marvin.
You
Jones.
solid.
Yeah, not for 18 million.
That's the thing. And
We had to spend that kind of money to get even halfway, just barely above average players here. Now they want to come.
now they want to come because of the culture. It's an exciting time to be a Detroit Lions fans, and that's why I get so defensive over people that say Brad Holmes isn't a great GM. He's a great GM.
I don't think anybody said that. It's just you get hung up on the Howie Roseman argument.
No, you know what?
Because I don't like the lack of equality in that conversation. It's like a guy with 15 years of tenure who couldn't get it done in his first 5 years gets demoted, then gets a job, then the next two years in, he wins. So 7 years total of being a GM before he got his first one. Brad Holmes is 4 years in. Mm-hmm. So after 7 years, if he's still trailing Howie Roseman, because then are you going to tell me if he gets one before 7 years, he's better than Howie Roseman? Why not? He accomplished something Howie couldn't. And that's where I get frustrated with the Howie Roseman because, yeah, you're right. Howie Roseman got him. But he also had the time to get there. You're not giving Brad the same time before you're judging him. That's where I get defensive.
And he's been sentenced by almost all the fans in this town. Maybe up until this year is the first time that it hasn't been happening. Oh, he's so arrogant. He thinks he knows more than everybody else. Why is he doing these trades? Why isn't he doing that trade? And now finally, like we all say in Dan we trust, but it's in Dan and Brad we trust. And it's, as you start to see these tremendous guys that we drafted get extended, and you scratch yourself, how are we going to afford that? People are really starting to embrace Brad's just absolute, like, he's smarter than almost everybody else in the league.
Yeah, you say that. Then I look at the chat and I see Steve-O baby. Stick, I'll give Brad Holmes credit when he wins a Super Bowl, bottom line. And it's like,
that's my boy Steve-O. Shout out.
Yep. And then you got right below him, Full Slate Farms, 1680. Brad is not a great GM. He's a great college scout director. Like, that's what blows my mind. This guy took arguably the worst franchise in all four major sports and made them relevant in 4 years.
Go Google.
That is an impossible job to do.
He's also a two-time executive of the year, so that's just not
Google the Lions' salary, okay? And look at their entire team's salary and how it works over the next 4 or 5 years versus everybody else out there. And people are saying that. They're just mad that he didn't trade 3 draft picks for Myles Garrett. Like, they don't get it. Yeah, he's a tremendous evaluator of talent. But this guy has done nothing but pull trade after trade after trade that has made this team what it is right now.
Draft after draft after draft.
You were mad at him for trading Hawkinson. Get out of here, guys.
Right. And that's where
traded Stafford, traded Hawkinson, traded for a guy like Carlton Davis. There's a lot in the offseason signing guys like Alex Anzalone, David Montgomery, DJ Reed. Like,
dude,
that's what I mean. At what point,
tremendous.
Is really the Super Bowl the only measurement now?
In
like,
this city.
Yeah,
but
I mean,
in this city, even more so.
It should be the last place to claim that.
Exactly. But they're so starved and delusional that that's all that they can see. They wouldn't even be happy getting to a Super Bowl.
Yeah, we've never been this good before, so.
That's what drives me nuts, man.
I understand
just appreciate what you have.
It's like waking up hot one day and just having no idea what to do with it.
We were the have-nots forever. Now we're part of the elite group, and it still ain't good enough because we're not the richest of the rich.
Yeah. And I will say, it is awesome, and he does need to punch one in, though. I will say that. And I think he will. Yeah. I believe he will, and I wholeheartedly believe that. But, yeah, if
punch it in,
you got to punch one in, and because that's what you're all building towards. That's what it's all for, and he knows that. Like, it's not like he's actively trying to just make
I was told he
good.
doesn't care as much as Howie Roseman by somebody on this network.
Yeah.
If we told you 5 years ago that these guys were going to come in and have the Lions to where they are, not one person would have believed you.
If you would have told
not
me
one
you could
person
come in and have the Lions at 500 in perpetuity, I would have popped champagne.
Dude, 2023, 2024, and 2025, we have the best record in the NFL by 1 game over the Eagles and 2 games over the Chiefs. Now, yeah, they got rings, but we next.
Yeah, but I mean, Brad Holmes is in that boat now. Getting the Lions good, that was the easy part. Now it's trying to finish the job.
You think that was easy?
No, in terms of
that was the first part, not the easy part. That was the first part.
I get that, but in turn, all you really needed is somebody to come in here and give a damn, and that's what he did. But from the moment he was able to do that, you see, he got this shit cleaned up in 3 years. He told you 3 years, and that's exactly what happened. So yes, I would say that's the easy part. Trying to win a Super Bowl is hard to do for anybody. The Eagles, the Chiefs, anybody. Yep. That's not an easy thing to do.
To say that was the easy part, though, I think is just kind of silly when how many people did we see come in here and couldn't do the easy part?
That's true, but we've seen the Lions. It's not like we've never seen the Lions in the playoffs during the 20 years or so that we've been watching, or 30 years.
We saw one playoff win.
Yes, but we've seen the Lions in multiple playoff games and just only result in one win.
Chainsaw ice sculpture looks easy too, KG.
I understand that.
This is the most losing franchise in modern NFL history.
Yeah.
And he flipped it. And not just taking a team that was below average. He took a damn JV roster and remade it.
But all he did was clean up the books and draft young players.
And trade the biggest names in the city.
Magic wand.
Of course, I give him credit for the trade. I'm not trying to make it seem like it's just, a cakewalk.
No, it just wasn't easy. It wasn't easy.
No, I'm not saying, but the hardest part is getting to the dance. I mean, clearly. I mean, we're all like, we haven't been to one ever. But that's the hardest part.
That's the thing is, these people in the chat, your whole lifetime, you saw one playoff victory, and you've already seen 2 in 4 years.
Right.
Come on. I get yes, we should be grateful, but like Spinney said, this is what we do this for.
Punch it in,
like eventually, and Brad Holmes is in that boat now. You've had a good 2 to 3 years of very good success for this team, and us being a perennial playoff team. It's time for the other parts now. That's all.
Sideless with the $5 super chat. Packers fans are talking about wanting Matt LaFleur fired because the team made an all-in move and aren't living up to expectation of their goals. I'm assuming he put that in there to show, like, hey, the Packers have a standard and it's elite.
Yeah, it's longer than that.
But you could argue that Matt LaFleur is underperforming with the product he was given. You can't argue that with Dan Campbell or Brad Holmes. No, and to me, that's the difference. Like, of course, if we had a great team and we were underperforming, well, I think we would all be calling for Dan Campbell, be like, man, I think he's lost his touch. But that ain't happening.
Matt LaFleur is in that situation now to where, we've been a winning team for forever. Like, you did this with Aaron Rodgers. You couldn't get him to a Super Bowl. And now you're doing this with Jordan Love, who everybody wanted to crown and everything like that. Now it's like, okay, we don't even look as good as we did during those 13 and 3 years where we was getting to the NFC Championship every time.
And now I agree with you, Stick. Up till now, you couldn't have said that, but now you can.
Yeah, exactly.
Because now you have the team full of all pros. Mm-hmm. Now you have one of the best rosters in the National Football League. So if you don't at least get to or win a Super Bowl, it is a failure. Like last year was a failure. And obviously there are circumstances because of all the injuries and stuff. And it was the first really step back that they've had. Yeah. So that you give them some grace there. But you got to continue to keep pushing forward. And now we're at the point where we're sitting at the big dog table, and now you got to take the food off of other people's plates.
Yeah, and that's the hard part.
Yep.
Packers fans got catfished that week 1. Like, that wasn't the Lions team. They didn't know who they were or how they were going to work week 1. And Green Bay, realistically, you take that pick 6 away that should have been, that whole game ends up different. And Packer fans are, I think, becoming just realistic with their team and what they've seen and the teams that they've lost to and the teams that they've barely beaten. Like, they're not the class at all of the NFC.